Have you ever met someone who just refused to see you succeed? Someone who convinced you that your dreams were impossible? That you were aiming too high? What if I told you about a man who gave up everything, not because he was weak, but because he believed all those lies? Until one cold, rainy night forced him to confront the truth. Tonight's story is about Emery Kade, a young man from near Manchester who sold off his excuses one by one. And in that sale, he lost his life's purpose. But here's the thing. In losing it, he found something far, far greater. So please stay with me until the end, because the moment Emery finally wakes up might just shake your soul. Emery Kade grew up in a modest flat in Salford. His father, Nathan, was a factory worker. His mother, Layla, a nurse. From the time he was a boy, the words he heard most were, "You're too soft, you're not good enough, and you'll never make something big of yourself." By the time he was 18, Emery dreamt of being a writer, of creating stories that could truly move people. He started by writing for himself, then began submitting short stories to small UK magazines. He got some rejections, but also a few small acceptances. But every single time someone said, "That's nice, but..." he took that, but as proof that he should just stop. He let fear and excuses stack up like heavy stones. I don't have enough time. What will people think of me? I'm just not talented enough. He sold his excuses piece by piece. To those voices in his head, and even to the voices of his friends who, without meaning to, fed his doubts. One dark autumn night, Emery was walking home after a long shift at a temp job. It was pouring with rain, and the street lamps cast long, eerie shadows. As he cut through a park near Ordsall, he spotted a tattered notebook tucked under a bench. There was no name on it, but inside, the pages were filled with despair, scrawled words about pain, about giving up. But then, on one page, a single line stood out, "When all reasons to quit are sold. The last coin you have is truth." Emery felt a shiver run down his spine. He wondered, is this someone else's pain, or is it my own echo? He took the notebook home. Over the next few nights, he read more. A mysterious author wrote about how excuses felt like armor, but an armor that was so heavy it was weighing them down, crushing them. The very last entry read, "I will wake up or be buried in my own shadows." Emery couldn't sleep. He felt like this notebook was left specifically for him, a mirror, reflecting his own life. Who was the author? Why did they leave it there? Was this person in crisis? Did something terrible happen to them? Driven by a deep spiritual hunger, Emery prayed quietly in his room, asking for a sign, for some guidance. He remembered something his mother once told him. God does not burden a soul beyond what it can bear, but it is our duty to strive, to try, to refuse to accept excuses. Then, one morning, he woke before dawn. The rain had stopped. The air smelled fresh and clean. He opened his laptop and with tears streaming down his face, he typed, "I sold my excuses. I want them back." He wrote a story inspired by the notebook, weaving in his own journey of doubt and fear. He published it anonymously on a UK spiritual fiction website. At first, only a few people read it. Then, it started to spread. Messages began pouring into his inbox from strangers. People saying, "This is me. I've been living in excuses for years, and this story gives me hope." It was then that Emery realized the truth. The author of the notebook was him. Or rather, it was the voice of a younger him from years ago when he still had a spark of courage. He had left it behind, discarded it like trash. But it had found its way back to him, and it spoke. You see, excuses are sold bit by bit. A little I can't hear, a small, maybe later there, until you don't even recognize the person you could have been. But there is always a moment, even in the deepest darkness, when the truth pierces through the silence. All it requires is the humility to listen. Spiritually, every soul is shown mercy. Every soul has boundless potential. We are all created with a purpose. To refuse our excuses is to honor that purpose. Emery Kade never became a world-famous writer. He never even sought it. What he became was real. He lives a simple life. He writes slowly, but with complete honesty. And every single morning, he wakes up and refuses one more excuse. I'll start tomorrow. What if they judge me? I'm not enough. So tonight, when you lie awake and the shadows in your room seem loud, just remember, you may have sold some excuses, but you can always buy them back. The final coin you hold is your truth, and It is worth more than all the butts you've ever traded away. If Emery's story moved you, if you feel there are excuses you need to reclaim, I encourage you, write them down. Read them in the light of day. Feel the fear, but do it anyway. And if you believe this story needs to reach someone who is feeling stuck, please share this video and comment below with an excuse you're ready to let go of. Hit that subscribe button for more stories that bring a little light into the world.
Thank you for watching.